Welcome to the 2023 Mastercam rollouts. My name is Patrick with the support team at Prototech Engineering. Today's topic will be Millturn and lathe enhancements in 2023. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they changed. Millturn and lathe in 2023 seen some change, mainly Millturn. We're not going to see a whole lot in lathe, so let's go ahead and take a look at what changed. The only lathe option change you're going to have here is now we have a stock preview that will make your stock solid so you can see currently what it sees a little easier, and then you'll be able to have the ability to make it into a 3/4 view. So that'll be one change that you will have in lathe. Otherwise, we didn't have any change in lathe. But as far as Millturn goes, we had quite a bit of change in Millturn. Millturn now supports multiple steady rests. They could be independent steady rests, or they could be dual steady rests ganged up on one slide. And this is going to kind of be an indication of what we can drive now. And like I said, this is an independent steady rest working here. And we can also have the gang style also, like this here. That's kind of ganged up onto one. So whatever you have there, we should be able to drive. We'll take a post edit on our side. So if you have that or getting a machine like that, let us know, and we should be able to help you out. And then the big change here is a new toolpath and multi-axis. This is going to be B-axis contour turning. You'll have to have a B-axis style machine for this to work. But if you have that, you can fully utilize this toolpath going forward. And this is kind of what this toolpath will do for you on your B-axis turning machine. So now we'll be able to fully turn these B-axes while we're moving in the other axes, you know. So this is a pretty cool toolpath. And allowing us to really keep our insert into the cut longer where we're going to be wanting it. So a big change here. We'll take a look at how to program this. So here's the downfall. So I know that on a B-axis machine you can tip the heads. You know, that's really not hard to do. But let's say I just come along here with a regular contour, and look at that. I'm undercutting there. Not so bad here, but I get to like this section here, and it had to undercut that too because the insert would have gouged if it followed down that wall. And Mastercam knows not to do that. So this was a potential downfall where maybe I would come in here and turn the head a couple times in a couple different toolpaths to be able to get where I need to go. But now in 2023, in the turning tab, what we're going to have is we're going to have B-axis contour turning. And this is going to work as far as chaining, just like our regular toolpath. So I'm just going to go chain there to there. And it's going to get us into our new style dialog boxes. Now, you can use any tool. You can use bore bars. You can use whatever you want. You just have to be on center containment. So your center containment has to be set to center when you set up your tool. That's the only restriction here. There are some radio buttons in here. Select from a library, create a new tool, create a 3D tool, or edit a tool if you need be. And then all of your standard tool information will be populated here that you can change or update if you need be. Next one's going to be your machine. Depending on how many combinations you have, you may have an upper left and an upper right. You can pick which combination you want to use, where you want this cut to be placed. And then this is going to be your standard stuff as far as display modes and tool orientation. You shouldn't have to deal with much of this, but if you have to change it, it is here. Approach and retract reference points. If you had specific ones, we could define them here. Geometry, if I need to repick my chain, I can pick it there. Comp direction should be automatic, and then any stock to leave if we need to leave some stock is set here. Your lead in, right now it's coming straight down, I'd rather come in from the side, so I'm going to change that to the side. And my exit vector is always normal to the last surface it's on. In this case, it's straight up. If it was on the angled face, it would go out from that face. But you can always change these if you need be. And then basic motion control. This is the main page here. I'm going to leave it to automatic to start, and I'm going to just leave the limits to 0 to 180 degrees. The limits here are what it can tilt. So if you need to tighten that up for clearances, you can. If you need to expand that out to get to more areas, potentially you can do that also. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to do anything in that page. And then the advanced motion controls, your cut tolerances, holder clearances, stuff like that. You have your stock update page, regeneration, and then the last one here, tool display, will show the tool as it's calculating if you want to see that. So I'm going to green check out of here, and this is going to crunch this tool path. And we'll let this crunch through here. And we'll take a peek. So we start out and you'll see that my B-axis is already tilted. And this is automatic once again, so it's figuring out automatically off the tool definition and my geometry. And now I'm able to clean right up and down that groove, come back up. Now with automatic, you know, you're not potentially always going to get you on right there. I don't want that cut right there, so we'll have to address that. But the rest of this, now I tilt again to get down this face. So I'm tilted at potentially a couple degrees there. I'm going to come back up at that degree, and then I'm going to be out. So as you can see right off the hit, I got a tool path that's probably going to work pretty nice for me. Another one potential area there that I didn't like is right here. So what we also have the option to do here is if you create yourself a turn profile, we can create lines. So the only thing you have to remember here is the lines have to be touching your chain. So what I like to use is line perpendicular. For example, I can come here and I can just drag a line out. Now what I'm creating here is vector lines. Now the line length does not matter. The only thing that matters is that it's touching your chain. It has to touch your chain. Now one easy way to edit these is to come in here under modify length and modify vector. And if I pick that, I can go to the opposite side, and now I could start to adjust this. So if I want to tip it 15 or 20 from where I was, I left click, green check, and now that'll update. So now it's still touching, and now it'll pick up that vector. Now the way this works is when it gets to here, it's going to be normal to that. When it sees this one next, it says I got to tilt halfway before I get there, and normal to that one, normal to that one, normal to that one. So we're going to see a lot of tilts here. And once again, your line length doesn't matter. It just has to be touching the chain. So if I go back into that tool path, and if I come to more of like a manual set, so I come back into my basic motion control page and go to manual, now it allows me to pick lines. Now it doesn't matter where I pick these either. I could pick them on the bottom, I could pick them on the top. It's just a vector line, so it does not matter. They have to be touching the chain. That's all that really matters in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and pick these. I'm going to end selection. And I'm just going to green check. So I'm not doing a whole lot of work here, right? I'm doing a manual set here, so I'm picking manual lines. And I'm just going to let this crunch, and we'll take a look at what we get for motion now that I did a manual set instead of an automatic set. It's crunching away here. And let's take a look. So now you can see that I'm a lot more vertical when I start here. And now I'm going to get a lot of tilt because of my vectors. It all depends on how your vectors are. Let's see how it's tilting to be normal to them vectors as it gets there. Normal to that one, normal. And now I'm getting all my tilts here. Now where this can be handy is a situation like this wall where I didn't want to engage my whole insert like I did previous. So now since I've drew some vectors on there, now I'll be cutting with the more of a leading edge of that insert instead of the whole thing, which could help me in them situations. I'm going to get a lot of tilt here. And potentially could be an issue with the back of the machine where I'd have to come back and fix that, obviously. So you can kind of manually fully set these however the heck you want. Go back and edit them kind of the way I showed you, and you'll have a really tilting tool path potentially to get into tighter spots or different regions. So definitely keep them in mind. The turning, if I show preview stock here, that's what it does. It pops up a solid model of where I'm currently at instead of just a preview, kind of the wireframe we've seen before. So this will show a lot more, which will maybe be a lot better for you. So that's really the main changes here, big time changes in Millturn. Lathe didn't see a whole lot, but if you have a Millturn machine with a BX set, or if you're looking to get one, just note that now we can drive that. So definitely check them out. And if you need any support with Mastercam, make sure you're contacting us. Our phone number here is 952-361-5598. And thanks for watching our video.